What's up, guys? It's Josh from Soul Studios. I'm back today with part 2 of the BeesNeez BU67 review. And the reason I split it up, when I first got the mic, I was just so excited and I was actually getting ready to go on vacation. So I just wanted to give a quick review for people to hear how it sounded, and that's what I did. But in part 2 today, we're going to take a closer look at the internal switches. And to get to that, you're just going to screw this piece off at the bottom, remove the body, and I will take a close-up picture to really give you all the detail of where the switches are and what they do. But just to give you a rough overview real quickly, you have the top left switch near the head grill is the high pass filter. To the right of that is the S2 broadcast filter mod, which was popular on vintage Neumann U67s. From what I understand, it was like a sub high pass filter around maybe 30 hertz. And so removing that extended the low end of your standard U67. And then below that, about in the middle, you have the pad. And at the very bottom here, just above the transformer, you have the switch that goes between your standard U67 and your M269 mode. Hopefully that gives you some clarity on the options that are found inside of the microphone and what those will do. And now that we have a basic understanding of that, I'm going to take the song Lover You Should Have Come Over by Jeff Buckley. And I had an acoustic guitar that I had recorded previously on my BeesNeez BU67 review. So we're going to use that track. It's the same guitar every time, and the vocal is going to change. We're going to start out with the U67 just in standard mode. Second, we're going to do the U67 mode with that S2 mod to open up and extend the low end. And then lastly, we will do the M269 mode, and that will have the S2 switch back in the standard position. So anyway, this will give you 3 flavors that the mic can offer, and we're not even getting into the available pickup patterns that you can access via the power supply. So keep in mind, it can go even beyond what we're going to hear today. But all examples today are in cardioid because that's what I typically like for vocals. And with the Jeff Buckley song, Jeff always had such an intimate, beautiful vocal sound that it often sounded to me like he was really up close on the mic during the verses, especially experimenting with the proximity effect. So for these takes today, I'm pretty much starting out maybe 3 to 4 inches away from the mic, and then maybe move back, in the 5 or 6 inch range on some of the louder parts. In this particular song, it starts off really soft, and then there's some bigger moments later. All right, so to start out, I'm going to have each vocal mixed in with the guitar, and all that's going on in this is that there's a little bit of a high pass filter using the Massenburg EQ plugin on the acoustic and the vocal, and that's it. There's no boost on the top end or cuts or anything like that. And then there's a little bit of a delay. I'm using the Acoustica Lemon plugin on a PCM 42 setting, and a little bit of PCM 91 large hall and a rich plate from the PCM 80. After that, we're going to solo each vocal and do just the first line of the song so you can hear them kind of quickly together and maybe help you better identify any differences there. There will be no effects or anything on the vocal. And overall, there's no compression, there's no 2-bus compression, there's no vocal compression, there's no acoustic compression. This is basically just how the mic sounds. So let's check it out.
Looking out the door, I see the rain fall upon the funeral mourner. Parading in a wake of sad relations, as the shoes fill up with water. Maybe I'm too young to keep good love from going wrong, but tonight you're on my mind, so I never know. fall upon the funeral mourners. Parading in a wake of sad relations, the shoes fill up with water. But maybe I'm too young to keep good love from going wrong. But tonight you're on my mind and soul. I never know. Looking out the door, I see the rain fall upon the funeral mourner. Parading in a wake of sad relations, the shoes fill up with water. But maybe I'm too young to keep good love from going wrong. But tonight you're on my mind, so I never know. Looking out the door, I see the rain fall upon the funeral mourners. Looking out the door, I see the rain fall upon the funeral mourners. Looking out the door, I see the rain fall upon the funeral mourners.
All right, guys, thanks again for checking this out. I hope this gives you a better idea of the many tonal options of the BU67. And if you've been around the channel for a while, you know I try not to get too opinionated because I'm really cautious about pushing people to just buy everything, because I know you can really get in over your head quickly. But I do want to say with the BU67, depending on the exchange rate of the US to Australian dollar, it's running, you know, in the $1,400 to $1,500 range. Basically, my closing thought on this mic is that it just sounds really expensive. I've had the pleasure of using some vintage Neumanns over the years, as well as pretty much every other modern mic manufacturer that's making clones or high-end microphones. I mean, I've gone through so many mics, I can barely remember all of them. But to get a top end that sounds as smooth as you get on the BU67, particularly just in the standard 67 mode, is worth its weight in gold. And I've never found a mic in this price range, not even close, that has such a smooth top end. But then it's also so full-bodied in the mid-range and the low end. I mean, my only problem now is I want to get another one so that I can throw it on drum overheads or drum room mics, something to that effect. So one of the questions I get asked most often by fellow artists and fellow engineers is, I need a good vocal mic, but I don't have, you know, a huge budget. Where would you start? And my new answer is the BU67. I mean, I just can't think of anything else that is, especially as a tube mic, that has that smooth of a top end that will allow you to sing up close, to get that really intimate feel, because that's one of my favorite things about my Corby Cat system over the years, is that it could handle, you know, when you're singing and you really want to give an emotional performance, and the lyric and the proper feel in the verse maybe is very quiet, very soft-spoken, you want to be able to get up close on a mic, and not every mic can handle that. A lot of mics don't have the headroom for it. And so to have a mic in the $1,500 range that you can get this kind of sound out of is just crazy. There's nothing worse than trying to track a vocal and your emotion is in the right place and your delivery, everything feels good, and then you go to sing and you feel like you have to jump way back, or you have to have one ear on your headphones off. And I just can't stand that. I feel like it gives a compromised performance. I've always preferred mics that would allow me to use good mic technique, to be able to get close, to move back a little bit, but not where it's so drastic where you have to like completely turn your head or you have to step way back. Because the problem is, you know, if you have figured out a way to sing this intimate verse on a song and you're within that, you know, 6 inches or less range on the mic, and then on the chorus you have to jump back to 18 inches, well, that tonally is a very different frequency response of what you're going to get between your verses and your choruses. And it just, anyway, I don't want to go off on too long of a rant, but I said all that to say, if you're looking for a vocal mic, especially if there's a better mic in this price range, I don't know about it. The great thing about a 67, it's also going to work on acoustic guitar. It's going to be a great guitar amp mic. It's going to work on any kind of acoustic instrument. It's going to be great on drum overheads or drum rooms. So anyway, I've gone on enough. If you like what you hear and you want to check out a BU67, please check out the link in the description. If you purchase your B67 through that link, it's going to help the channel grow. With anything on this channel, only buy things as you can afford them and when you're ready. But if you are in the market for a great vocal mic in particular, do check it out. All right, guys, I appreciate your time. Again, my name is Josh. This is the Soul Studios YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe before you go. Like the video, ring the bell. And if you really got some value from this video, there's a little heart that says thanks under the video. If you click on that, you can send a little something to help the channel grow. All right, guys, I'm going to be back soon with a Chandler RS-124 review, a Stam SA-47 Mark II review. Lots of exciting stuff coming up. So I'll see you again soon. Thanks.